between getting in front of a neighbor and getting a referral, and you keep the same closing rate. If you're looking at a month over month, you're growing 90% month over month in number of new sales. So everyone is chasing the algorithm, and everyone's trying to get their numbers right when it comes to Google ads and Facebook ads and finding who to trust and all of that. My position is, if you build these internal processes, you're going to kick the butt of any marketing agency you're ever going to hire. And if you do want to hire a marketing agency to run cold traffic after that, you're going to make it go further, because now you can turn one of those jobs that maybe you spent $1,500 to acquire, and then turn it into 2 or 3 and cut your cost per acquisition in half or in thirds.
Oh yeah, no, that totally
It's
makes
definitely
sense.
one of the things that people don't think about. People do not understand how much it costs, the acquisition costs to actually get a customer. It's wild. And before we hit record, you talked about the target. It's the 1 to 3 million are underserved, but these systems can work for any size roofing business.
Yeah.
They really, really are. And you talk about the economics of it, and I've experienced this firsthand, where I'm a big investor in marketing. I'm a big believer in having the right systems and processes in place for my roofing business, but it's very difficult to do that whenever you are under 3 million. It just costs money. And then you're like, well, if you have a bad month and your acquisition cost goes up, then you're in pretty bad spot.
Yeah.
And then winter happens and you have no lead flow coming in, and you can't do any jobs to make up the difference. It's not a volume business. It is a profit business.
Exactly.
Every job needs to be profitable. It's not about quantity of roofs. It's not about revenue at all. It is about how many dollars of profit you can make. And I've been going through this with my team as well. Like, we need to make sure we focus on profit for every single job.
And that's the thing that I think people don't understand, because so many roofing business owners, and I've have a kind of a decent amount of experience at this point in just business deals. I didn't even mention, so on top of that, my wife and I have bought a exercise studio as well before any of my businesses, and run it now. And actually, I'm assuming no one listens to roofing podcasts, but we're in the process of potentially moving that. We just got a valuation back, which is amazing. She's kicking my butt if we get this number, which is great.
Nice.
But there's a lot of math that is done in your head or on a paper napkin, and it can be detrimental to your business, because there's a time for agility and quick decisions and making moves and all of that. But if you haven't ever done the real math that it takes to be profitable on a job, then you're going to struggle. And what I think the real problem with marketing, like with running marketing, is it's not a one-time campaign. So the way I look at it is, like, if you look at your entire marketing budget over the course of a year, and you are able to wait a year, and then you look at your profitability, then you'll usually be profitable. The problem is, it's where usually, especially in the 1 to 3 million, like, you don't have the luxury of looking out that far. And oftentimes when you're hiring a marketing agency, and I think this is wrong, like, I don't think you should do this, but a lot of the times when people hire a marketing agency, there's 2 things happening, usually at the same time. One, they have a true deficit of leads, and they're nervous about how many jobs they're going to do. They feel like they don't have really very much control. So it's like, I just need the phone ringing. And 2, a lot of the time at the same time, you're trying to keep a salesperson fed. So if you're trying to keep a salesperson fed on top of the price to acquire the customer, you also now have commission, and the business has to be profitable. And a lot of the time it isn't. And I have this little, like, sales letter I made over here. and I want to read you through a part of it just because I think it's better than I could just do off from the hip, but it will walk you through the cycle. And I want John especially to tell me if this is familiar. This is kind of what generally goes wrong when you invest in a standard marketing package. This is the flow. You get on a sales call with someone you've seen online, and they show you examples of things you could be doing with your website, examples of people who've had results of them, all that. You're warned that SEO takes time, but it's the only way to grow and you need to invest in it, and that a combination between SEO and Google Ads is what you need. They charge you anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 a month management fee for the bundled SEO and ads management. The further you get along the marketing journey, usually the more you pay, which is not actually your problem. You're not just hiring the wrong agencies. It's actually the economics. But let's call it $2,500 for the math we're about to do. Ask what you're willing to spend in ad spend. I ran a marketing agency where we had at times 100 clients, like most of them roofers. I don't know what it is, $100 a day. That's the magic number. Everyone's like, I think I can do $100 a day. So $3,000 a month, very common number to start with an ad spend. And then usually they're like, we'll scale it up from there. So $3,000 a month in ad spend. The ad spend gets you anywhere from 8 to 12 appointments, but they're not all re-roofs. Some are gutters, some are siding, some are repairs, a couple of re-roof leads, and a bunch of random calls with people thinking you're a supplier or thinking you're another company, and it just kind of becomes a little chaotic. You close, usually attribution's not great either, so you don't even really know what's coming from what. You close anywhere, you close the 8 to 12 appointments at 30%. So right about 3 jobs. The cost per sale, a number no one talked about, is around 1,833. So 5,500, 2,500 plus 3,000 divided by 3, 1,833. Hopefully some of those are re-roofs, right? But we're not even guaranteeing that they are. Jobs are scheduled over the next few weeks, and you're a couple months away from collecting all of the cash that you paid on the jobs that you paid $1,800 to generate. You turn around and spend it all again the next month and the next month, hoping that results get better because you're still committed to marketing. You believe in it. You have significantly less in your bank account when you started than when you started, and you see Google charging you what feels like every few days, and it begins to get a little stressful. You ask for an update, and the agency tells you you're just getting started. SEO needs way more time, but it is looking promising. And the cost per lead on Google Ads is right within KPI. And then they start asking you, how are you following up with the leads? What are you doing? Hey, you didn't answer these calls. A month or two later, you finally realize, I can't keep doing this. I don't care if it's the agency's fault or my fault, but I can't. So you ask to cancel. You've spent $15,000, $20,000 in management fees and ad spend. And then the agency, right, just to poke you right at the end, was like, man, the SEO is just starting to work. Your phone stops ringing. You're in a worse position than you are before because you have less money, and you don't have the phone calls that you started getting used to, even though they weren't profitable. And then a few months later, you find a new agency and do the exact same thing over again.